Wilt Chamberlain.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay, your list is whack.
I got Magic. You got Emmett.
Welcome to Let the Play Develop podcast, where Seth constantly bullies us for non-sports related reasons.
I just want to take a second to apologize for last week's episode for absolutely nothing.
Anyway, we have a jam-packed episode. We have our top 10 draft of all time. That'll be fun. Surely it won't be controversial at all. I don't think it will. We have lots of news in the sports world from NFL to NBA. And we're going to be drafting teams. So it'll be a good, fun episode, I think.
Sure.
You're always doubting our episodes. Like there have been
Me?
times. Yes, there's been times I sit back in editing and I'm like, Seth does not seem confident in this episode.
It's not just he's not. I think that's why he bullies us as well. It's just
It's insecurity.
It is
Insecurity?
insecurity.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to our psychiatric podcast. Where
I was
we'll be,
bullied all of middle school, so now I bully others.
We're-
too.
We are going to deeply psychoanalyze Seth this episode.
There's
Yeah,
a
that much
lot
time.
to go
I was gonna
through.
say, do we have enough time? That's a good.
This is a 10-part series. Each episode is 3 hours long, and there's going to be 12 seasons.
God.
All right. You want to
It's a
talk
lot
about?
of trauma to dive into there.
Well, we're gonna just bury your trauma a little bit deeper for a while. You can unpack it later.
And that's what sports are for.
Yay, sports!
To escape the real
So
world.
back to sports.
on those socials.
Oh yeah, we have social media. This is wild. All right. Instagram and TikTok, you can follow us at Let the Play Develop Pod. Twitter, you can follow us at LTPD Pod or Let the Play Develop. If you're watching on YouTube right now, yo, what's up? Go check us out on streaming platforms. I think all except for Apple Podcasts, I
Yeah.
want to say.
We're still working on approval.
Yeah, and then if you're listening on streaming platforms, hello. Go check us out on YouTube. And you can see our nice, somewhat beautiful faces to some people, I guess.
Who?
That insecurity coming back up. But yeah. So should we get right into our weekly news?
I would like to congratulate Joel Embiid. He won the last Twitter poll we did. So congratulations. According to our viewers,
I
and
voted
us,
for Joel Embiid.
he's going to be the next NBA MVP. So congratulations,
And-
Joel. That is efficient. Excuse me. That basically means he got it. I don't know where efficiency came from.
I voted for Giannis, but it's okay.
There was a vote for Giannis and for Jokic. Embiid won though with like 4.
No one said other, I don't think, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you said
It's
other,
go-
you're really
It's going to one of
reaching.
those 3. Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
All right, weekly news segment.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Okay, so starting with the NFL this week, we have the first thing is former Arizona Cardinals front office executive Terry McDonough has filed an arbitration. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, arbitration claim against the team that accuses owner Michael Bidwill of cheating. The NFL confirmed receipt of this filing on Tuesday, but has not disclosed its contents. McDonough is claiming that he was eventually demoted after he objected to a scheme that involved the use of burner phones to circumvent the 2018 suspension of then GM Steve Keim, who had been suspended after being arrested for a DUI. McDonough claims that he still has the phone that was used in the scheme. McDonough, who was with the team for 10 seasons, was terminated during the Cardinals' recent offseason overhaul of their front office, which included firing coach Cliff Kingsbury and GM Steve Keim, and replacing them with coach Jonathan Gannon and GM Monty Austinfort. The Cardinals issued a public response to their publicist, which said, we are reluctantly obliged to provide a public response along with broader context for some disappointing and irresponsible actions by Terry McDonough. The claims that he has made in an arbitration filing are wildly false, reckless, and nothing but an opportunistic ploy for financial gain. Mr. Bidwell took swift action when he learned of the burner phone situation and directed the phones be retrieved and communication stopped.
So they partially admitted to it,
Yeah.
but they're saying he tried to stop it as soon as he found out.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
he is completely innocent.
So, for one, this man he was definitely planning something if he kept the burner phones for that long.
Yeah.
Secondly, it sounds like all parties are in the wrong here. So,
Snitches get stitches.
That
yeah.
sounds like, hey, let's point the
Look.
blame to someone else so I get off a
and
little
the
bit
Cardinals were like, hey, you know what? To distract them, finally get a new uniforms. Forget about this situation.
better. And trade Kyler Murray. I'm just kidding. We'll see if that happens.
I don't know. They're doing a lot of weird moves out there, but
I don't understand the Cardinals.
Start McSorley.
I don't like Bidwell. I mean, if he has to sell the team, I'll be happy about that.
Yeah.
Trace.
Trace McSorley, man.
And now the Ravens are without a Trace.
I think that's one of the first times we've actually talked about the Cardinals, like, in general on this show.
They're
There's
irrelevant.
reason for that. We'll talk about when they
Besides
draft.
it being Nate's favorite
See, I'm pretty
team.
sure like 50% of our viewers minimum have clicked off by this moment because they were like Arizona Cardinals.
Exactly.
I would have.
If you're still here past the Cardinals, thank you.
Yeah, you're a real one.
I'm sorry we had to talk about that.
We got
but
more
did.
entertaining news though.
For some
Yeah.
reason, that was the first thing. We thought, hey, yes, let's talk about the Cardinals. I'm just kidding.
Moving on from that, the Titans reached a 4-year, $94 million contract extension with Pro Bowler defensive end Jeffrey Simmons. $66 million guaranteed, a $24 million signing bonus with $4 million in incentives.
It's a lot of money.
So that's, yeah.
Boy got that bag.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Good for him. And then also the big one that this was a bomb dropped when it happened. The Ravens are signing wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year, $18 million contract with $15 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a good deal. Bad price tag, in my opinion.
And also, I guess Tyler Huntley's throwing to him because Lamar's not going to play.
They gave Lamar. Odell said he gave the Jets a chance to match the contract, and the Jets refused. So
Good
he went
job,
with the
Jets.
Ravens.
That's
Good
too
job.
much. That's too much.
Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers isn't going to get sold on Odell.
I mean,
Yeah.
he asked for one.
I think
but
they have better. I think they can honestly, like, I mean, for example, would you guys rather have Odell Beckham Jr. for 1 year, $18 million, or have like Jacoby Myers or Juju Smith-Schuster for 3 years, $33 million? I kind of like those contracts a lot better.
Not so much Jacoby Meyer, but Juju Smith-Schuster.
Who would be forced out of the Jets locker room if Odell had gone out of there for the?
Well, they
wide
already got
receivers?
rid
Corey
of Elijah
Davis?
Moore, so I guess Corey Davis would be on the way out after that.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get rid of Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, no.
if you
And
do, you
what
need to
about
sell the
Lazard?
franchise.
No, they just got Lazard, so they wouldn't get rid of him. And obviously,
No,
Garrett
I'm
Wilson
saying,
is their
like, that's a
plan
lot
for the
of-
future.
They're going to try to get Randall Cobb.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Hey, but I will not take the Jacoby Myers disrespect. Dude is a, like...
Bro.
He's a good
Isn't he the
receiver.
one that tried to throw the pass back to what's his...
Okay, that tainted
That's
what
one
would have been a
moment.
really good season. Jacoby
one.
Myers
Yeah.
has had a lot of good seasons. He's been in a
That's
lot of
true.
good games.
That's true.
All right.
All right. Well, that's it for the NFL. Moving on to the NBA. Andrew Wiggins has returned to the Warriors after a 7-week absence during which he was taking care of his ill father. Coach Steve Kerr told the press that Wiggins is practicing conditioning with the performance team to be ready to go, hopefully by the first round of the playoffs.
You notice how he put the Warriors news first?
Yeah, that was
There's more.
targeted.
Don't worry.
More Warriors news?
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so Memphis Grizzlies promote their former two-way player and 2023 G League Rookie of the Year / center Kenneth Lofton Jr., which they signed to a 4 year, $7 million standard contract.
Is it, what, $7 million over 4 years?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
What? I thought that's...
Yeah, it's like 1 point something mil a year.
Wow.
That's a steal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
good
a
for them.
major steal. They signed to that contract after it was announced that veteran center Steven Adams would likely miss the rest of the year with a right knee injury.
He went off for the Grizzlies. He had 42 points, 14 rebounds. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's 20 years old, 6'6", 275. In the G League this past year, he averaged 22.4 points per game, 10.1 rebounds, and 3.6 assists. His first game as an official Grizzlies player happened on the final day, the season finale for most of the teams in the league. in a 115-100 loss to the Thunder, he scored 42 points, had 14 rebounds, and 40 minutes as a starter. Which, granted, the Grizzlies only played 6 players. Sorry, not 4.
Hey,
They played 6 players.
They played 6 players, and the Thunder only played 7.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Thunder haven't been. I mean, they've been playing Shea and a bunch of bench players for the last couple of games. So,
Bro, literally, the Grizzlies had one kid play. I think it was their point guard that they played yesterday. He was the only point guard on their team. He played 48 minutes.
yeah.
Oh, well, here's some breaking news for the NFL before we get too far. It's not breaking because, we've already talked about it, but apparently the Cardinals have had 6 teams call about the number 3 pick.
Interesting.
Do you think they'll trade that pick?
Yeah, they're going to trade it.
I think so, too.
And Bryce Young just is visiting the Panthers, I think, today.
Oh, really? They already
On Tuesday. So they're doing a second meeting, I guess.
Yeah.
Just some draft news real quick in there for you.
Yeah.
Take C.J. Stroud. Thank you. I like my quarterbacks to be able to see over the offensive line.
Hey.
I'm telling you, I don't think the height will matter as much, but
I think it will. I also think that C.J. Stroud's decision-making is better, to
I
be
like
honest.
C.J. Stroud better. I want C.J. Stroud, but I don't think Bryce Young's height. Like, everyone's made that such a big deal. He will be fine.
Bryce Young needs to go to the Texans.
Yeah, he could go to the
Anthony
Texans.
Richardson
He'll do well
needs to
there,
go to
too.
the Texans.
I'd rather have Anthony Richardson than Bryce Young. But
I would not. So, go C.J. Stroud.
anyways, okay, so the NBA has opened an investigation into the Mavericks' move to sit players. I want to say this was Friday. Either way, the Mavericks held out several key players in their next to last game of the season, even while the team still had a mathematical chance of making the play-in tournament. Dallas sat Kyrie Irving the entire game and benched Luka Doncic after the first quarter. In that game, they blew an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost, eliminating their postseason chances.
Yeah, it seems weird.
Here's what's interesting. Coach Jason Kidd made it very clear before the game that the decision to sit players was made by the Mavericks organization. And after the game, he made it even more clear that the decision was made by owner Mark Cuban and GM Nico Harrison.
He said, I want no part of this.
He's covering himself.
Which is wild because Mark Cuban has a history of being fined for tanking.
But why would you? It's not like you're tanking. Like you're not getting a good spot.
No, you're not. I don't understand. I don't understand why they would tank if that was their actual play there. Like I don't get it at all.
Here's the conspiracy. They're getting a slightly higher pick so they can trade for like a second or third
And get
pick.
Victor Wembanyama.
Well, no one's trading the number 1 pick. You would be the dumbest player in team in
You'd
history.
actually be an idiot.
I mean, I don't know. What if you could get
Now,
Luka?
if it was like, I'll trade the
They
number
take
1 pick and
Brandon,
you give me Giannis, that's the only way I'd do it.
What about there's a good amount of players I would take over the one like Luka. I take.
Oh,
Jason.
Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic.
No one's gonna offer that.
No, they're not. I mean, I would take.
But I'm just saying it would have to be like that level of
Yeah,
superstar.
it would.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
This is the
superstar.
first year in a while I'd say that, but Victor, man,
Dude.
he's left us speechless.
Yeah.
He goes, dude. Like, hey, I need a moment to talk about this.
Just need to think about the greatness.
Bro, he's actually
He put
an
Peckis
absolute
on
specimen.
3-pointer.
Yeah, that was
ridiculous.
To be fair, another player has done it in history, and you want to know who it is? Do y'all know?
JJ Redick?
No.
Oh.
Now
Yeah, that's
it is
wild.
wild. It's Davis Bertans for the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
Wait, really?
Now it was a lot
He
different.
can jump?
It was a lot different of a scenario. He was already leaning forward on the 3-pointer and ran immediately to the rim, put back, dunked it.
Oh, so he lobbed it to himself.
Off the rim, yeah.
I mean, he still tried to hit the 3.
Right, but yeah, fair enough.
Now,
I guess he knew
no
as soon
one
as he
would-
released it won't
No
good.
one would think it was Davis Bertans.
I
but-
wouldn't have.
So, but like the fact that Victor stepped back on the 3 and
Yeah.
still made it to the rim.
wild.
Absolutely wild. Moving on, the Detroit Pistons head coach Dwayne Casey stepped down after the Pistons' final game of the season versus the Chicago Bulls. Casey and the organization made the decision to move Casey to a role in the franchise's front office.
I was like, he's getting fired? Wait, no, he's getting a
Yeah,
promotion.
so I was
Yeah.
confused. I mean, that, and no offense to the Steven Silas one, which I see is coming up next, they just don't have enough talent. They're not going to win games. It don't matter who they put there as the coach.
yeah,
I
the
wouldn't say they
Pistons
don't
had
have-
17 wins.
They don't have enough talent. They don't have enough developed talent.
Because
Because they got talent. They don't have enough of develop. They have Cade Cunningham.
the
I love
Pistons
him.
got a chance.
Jaden
Ivey.
Houston's
They were
smart.
both injured for most of the
There's some
season.
other players.
Jalen Duren is really good.
They just
Their
got.
center.
Didn't they
Duren's
just
good.
get the center from the Warriors?
James Wiseman.
James Wiseman.
Yeah, he'll be a backup to Jalen Duren, I'm sure.
I think they could coexist. in my opinion.
That's a weird lineup.
Yeah, James
but it could
Wiseman.
work.
I don't know. James Wiseman's running out of opportunity. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, he is. Houston Rockets head coach Steven Silas will not return as the coach of the Rockets next season. Multiple sources told the Associated Press.
I heard that they're looking at AAU games to find their next coach because that's how that team was run anyway.
They
Dear
said
God.
They said that it was actually a false statement, but there was some remember that report that he was found crying because he couldn't connect with his players.
That's wild.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah,
he's probably, hey
he
guys,
cried.
can
I'm
we
not
run
surprised.
a play?
He's coaching a team full of highlight hoopers. Let's just be honest.
Imagine he was crying, guys. I just want to run a pick. No, isolation only.
These darn Gen Z players don't listen to a
Like
word I
their team
say.
has so much talent, but they just do not play together at all.
All right, so I don't know if this is controversial or what y'all think, but I do
Just to be
think
clear,
Jabari.
so much talent.
I think
It means they're
Jabari
young
Smith
and pretty
Jr.
good.
is by far the best player they have on that
Oh,
roster.
he's great. He needs a
He's
point
really
guard. As I
good.
said.
Yeah, he's better than.
And he needs a shooting guard who's not a highlight hooper.
Jalen Green's I think his upside is capped a little bit.
The last piece of maturity they had on that team was Eric Gordon. And
Probably.
Sangoon is disgusting.
Yeah.
I said maturity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sangoon's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's only like 20, bro. He's literally younger than
Oh,
me.
no,
That's
I like-
weird.
I like Sangoon.
Doesn't that make you feel like you're not doing anything with your life?
Yes. What are you talking about? Absolutely.
Or like Arch Manning he's gonna start his college football career this upcoming year, and his NIL deal is like $3 million or something like that. Like, oh god, we were worth nothing. We've
Dear
done nothing
Lord.
of relevance.
Silas's contract had a 4th-year option, and the organization has decided to not pick it up. But they may move the former coach to another role in the organization.
Is that the new move now?
I guess so. I mean, Brad Stevens did it.
Yeah, but that's different. Brad Stevens did something as a coach, and Dwayne
That's
Casey.
very
I don't
fair.
want to be mean, but Dwayne Casey got replaced, and then the
Look,
Raptors immediately won a
Dwayne
championship.
Casey walked so Nick Nurse can run.
Bro
And
literally
now-
won Coach of the Year and got fired.
I've never seen
Wow.
that.
That's wild.
While we're on coaches, Nick Nurse is also reported to potentially lose his job or walk away after the season.
Well, Kawhi Leonard will make you look like
I
you're a little
feel
bit better
like
than
they-
you are.
But also, I feel like they did fine with
They
what
were
they
not good
had.
this year. They should have
With
done
what they had, though.
No,
Did they not make the playoffs?
no, they made the play
It's
in.
just the conversation
Oh,
where we
okay.
had that Pascal Siakam isn't as good as we thought he was.
No, I think he is as good as we thought he was. I just don't think he has anything around him besides Fred Van. I mean, he has.
OG Anunoby is really talented.
Don't they have
Trent
Precious
Jr. is
Achiuwa
I
too?
forgot. Yeah, they actually do kind of have a squad.
Gary Trent Jr. is awesome.
Oh, they
At least
Gary
they're
Trent,
starters.
yeah.
Their bench is kind of.
I mean, even then they got Jakob Poeltl. Well, he might be starting now. but-
Dang, bro.
Yeah, there's no reason they should have been.
They got
as
a
bad.
team. They might make
Scotty
a. Are they in
Barnes?
the playoffs?
Yeah, they are in the play-in.
They might make a push. They're not going to win anything, but they
might
might
not
make a push.
even make the playoffs.
That's wild,
Yeah,
bro.
they should have done better.
I didn't think about how many people that I don't pay attention to the Toronto Raptors, to be honest. During the regular season finale yesterday, there were a couple of teammates clashing. It started out with the tension spilled over on the Clippers bench during their season finale against the Suns, in a game with postseason implications, leading to players Mason Plumlee and Bones Highland getting into a shoving match during a timeout.
Yeah, no, it was a physical time here.
Which was funny because after the game, Mason Plumlee goes, honestly, it made us better. We played a lot harder in the fourth quarter. We should do that every game.
Yeah,
And-
I was gonna say I would never normally would I never step up for Mason Plumlee because he's a former Hornet. He had okay times at the Hornets, but he hasn't done a whole lot. But Bones Highland's done even less. And like he said, that team looked like they kind of needed something. They were coasting, and there was actually if they lost, they would have fallen below the Warriors. So because the Warriors won their game, so they did need to actually win that game.
So that started off kind of that's kind of weird. And then the Timberwolves said, "Hold my beer."
Actually, I think they just wanted to copy because the Timberwolves game happened earlier, so they were just trying to copy it.
Oh, maybe yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I actually got that messed up.
No, you're good. You're good.
I got that reversed. Tensions also boiled over in the Timberwolves season finale versus the Pelicans, with Jaden McDaniels first putting his availability in concern after punching a wall out of frustration.
And now, technically, it's not known if he broke his hand before or after the punch, but when you punch a wall and your hand comes out broken 10 minutes later, it doesn't look good for you.
Mm-hmm. And after that, Rudy Gobert was sent home during the second quarter after throwing a punch at his teammate.
I love how they just
Kyle
said he
Anderson.
was sent home. Like, get out of here. You're heading out.
Okay. We want to talk about some teams that to me, what the Wizards are like. I hate it for you though, but are like one of the teams that have like the worst. They have a tough road ahead of them because they're in that kind of tough spot for his direction. The Timberwolves this offseason kind of put themselves in that situation where now they have Rudy Gobert for 3 or 4 more years. He's not clicking. The team's not playing well. The team's worse than they were last year. Feel for you, Timberwolves.
We call that buyout land.
Also, they traded
their future for
him.
See,
and their future is playing better than he is.
Apparently, in the huddle,
Go
Kyle
Walker
Anderson
Kessler.
told Rudy Gobert he would knock him out.
Oh yeah, I don't have them written down, but a few quotes where apparently the argument started with Kyle Anderson telling Rudy Gobert to get a block, and then Rudy Gobert shouted back at him, "Hey, get a rebound," and then they started throwing. And then afterwards, when Rudy Gobert was sent home, at halftime, they were in the locker room, and Kyle Anderson was walking around the locker room and leaked audio saying, all y'all do is ride this man's blank. He's very overrated. Something about him being overrated. It's kind of wild.
I think the best part of this entire story is the quote that came out. I can't remember if it was the day before or 2 days before this game. I don't know if you guys know this. Rudy Gobert was actually asked about Kyle Anderson 2 days before this altercation came, maybe the day before, and he said Kyle Anderson was a great leader. He's brutally honest, which can hurt some guys' feelings, but he's a tough guy and can take it. Then he proceeds to the very next game punching Kyle Anderson. So
gotta love it.
That is
He
just
couldn't
props
take it.
to that reporter because that is just pure. Like that literally writes itself. That is amazing that
Kyle
quote came
Anderson.
out right before that fight.
Kyle Anderson, I'll show you even more brutal honesty.
I
Also-
am tough. I can take it, and by that I mean I'm gonna punch him my very next game.
Also, shout out to... Excuse
Wow, you bored?
No, shout out to Draymond Green for hitting Rudy Gobert back with his
That
own
Uno
tweet.
reverse, that was great.
Those of you that don't know, during preseason practices, when Draymond punched Jordan Poole, Rudy Gobert tweeted, something about insecurity always comes to light or something like that. And then after the game where Rudy Gobert threw a punch at Kyle Anderson, Draymond tweeted back at him, insecurity always comes to light or something like that.
Isn't it funny how the season started with a punch and ended with a punch?
Right.
Yeah, and see, I would have gone extra hard on Draymond Green, but like honestly, Rudy Gobert season was probably worse than Draymond's.
So bad.
I mean, he had a bad season. He got exposed, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
So wild end of the season.
Good luck, Timberwolves.
So yeah. Moving on from that, we have the winners of the regular season titles. Scoring champion for the 2022-2023 season
I think it was Joel. Right?
is Joel Embiid,
Okay.
scoring 33.1 points per game.
I didn't know he won it last year.
And he this is his second consecutive year winning it.
I didn't realize he won it last year either. I was kind of there was a couple players close, but I'm pretty sure he had that locked up going to the last game.
Are we at the resurgence of the big man?
It's kind of
Our top-
been
When they
happening.
play like that, yeah.
I'd say our top 3 of our 4 top players in the league are tall forwards or centers.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say actually the if you think about it, I know it was the exact same 3 MVP finalists last year was Joel, Jokic, and Giannis. It happened last year. It's gonna happen this year. Giannis won it before then, so like I think it's kind of been happening.
I think Luka will get thrown in next year because he's going to come back with a raging
If the Mavs
vengeance.
can do anything,
Bro.
But well, even if they don't do anything, he can still be in MVP contention. Cause
yeah,
he's
but
just
they got to
that
do
good.
something in the regular season though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to have a
They got
decent
at least made the
record.
playoffs.
Do you think Tatum will hop in next year?
I do think I think that we will probably see some new faces because voters get tired of voting for the same
Ja,
guys.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's kind of like.
If he can stay non-controversial, then yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, there's been controversial MVPs before.
I mean, yeah, Derrick Rose won
By
it
the name
over
of
LeBron.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
We're getting
he
we're
wasn't a
getting into a bit
controversial
of a
person,
pickle
though.
here.
I know. I'm just saying. There's just like
Right, Steve
I mean,
Nash wasn't a controversial person.
off-court behavior. I'll just phrase it that way. Has not
Yeah.
always stopped in MVP.
That's
very
very
true.
fair. What's funny is the assist title ties right into the scoring title because they're on the same team. The assist title went to James Harden, averaging 10.7 assists a game. He reclaims the NBA assist title after previously winning it in 2017 when he was on the Houston Rockets.
No, don't get me wrong. I couldn't do any of this stuff, but doesn't 10.7 seem kind of low for an assist leader?
I guess it's just good consistency throughout the whole season.
I mean, it's actually. I mean, I'm sure that's actually. I mean, great numbers. Like,
right? Yeah.
10 point. That's very few players in the league can do that, but it just feels kind of like I feel like 11, 12, maybe even 13 would be.
He's
impressive.
on some John Stockton numbers. I'm just kidding.
It's just tough.
I guess I'm thinking
know.
all-time great numbers.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, hey, solid. I'm sure people want it with less than 10. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The rebounding title, this one got me, went to Domantas Sabonis, averaging 12.3
right.
rebounds a game. He claims the 2022-23 rebounding title in his fourth consecutive season, averaging at least 12 rebounds a game.
Wait, he's had it the last 4 seasons in a row?
No. Yeah, the last 4 seasons in a row, he's averaged at least 12 rebounds a game, but this is his first time winning it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
that 4 consecutive seasons averaging 12 rebounds a game puts him as the longest such active streak in the NBA.
Y'all were hating on my Sabonis redraft last week.
I love Sabonis. That was
was
mostly
Chris, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris.
Like Sabonis is good.
I love Sabonis.
Bro's disgusting. He's
I
making
had to
Dad proud.
Defended myself once Chris got off.
Hey,
so.
now it's completely irrelevant to any of this stuff that we're talking about, but I do love that Jaylen Brown immediately followed up y'all taking him number 1 overall by going 3 for, I think, 14 his very next game.
Leave
and
that boy
Brandon
alone.
Ingram had a 40-point triple-double. I love how that happened. The game after
I
we
still
pissed
stand
on
by my pick.
That's fair. I mean, that's one
For
game.
me,
That doesn't
I
determine
mean, I don't know
anything.
what I said last week, so I might backtrack, but I think they're pretty close. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's like.
I don't think either
way or
one of them
another.
can lead your team to a championship, but I think both of them can be great secondary options and help your team win.
Yeah.
Steals.
The steals title went to OG Anunoby, averaging 1.91 a game.
That boy's like that.
He's claimed him claiming the steals title this year, he becomes the first ever Raptors player to do so.
Well, win for the Raptors, I guess.
Yeah, they got something. The blocks
Go with
title
their 9th seed.
surprises no one because this man is an absolute menace. Jaren Jackson Jr., averaging 3 blocks a game,
That's wild.
wins it for the second year in a row.
Rigged. That bookkeeper over here, like, oh, was that his fingertip or Steven Adams? I'm giving it to Jaren.
Was that a
Like,
tipped pass or a
boy is
shot?
an
That was a shot.
absolute
I mean, I'm not saying
defensive
that
menace.
out of just. I love Jaren Jackson Jr., but I am saying that that was a conspiracy earlier in
Yeah,
the season.
it's interesting.
That
to think
the
about.
stats
I'd give it to
keepers
him.
were just giving him stats.
I'd give it
because
to him.
he was so much significantly better at home games than away games in terms of defensive statistics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe just Mama's cooking. Got him going in.
Feeds off the crowd, man.
No, it was Mama's cooking.
You're assuming
Yeah.
his
Mama's
mom is
cooking.
from Memphis.
Yeah.
Like,
And then the 3-point title goes to Klay Thompson. He hit 301 threes on 41% from the 3-point line. He wins his first ever 3-point title and becomes only the 3rd player ever in NBA history to make 300 threes in a season.
I don't think that.
Stephen Curry has done it 4 times, and James Harden did it once.
I don't think Volume 3 should be a title.
Yeah, although I love the efficiency on those threes.
No, it was
That's
great.
why I put the efficiency there, because it's just making the threes. I'm like, because I was like, how did he shoot? But he shot really well.
Right, like, and it is funny, like, watching, I mean, which is any volume shooter, when they chuck it, like, it is so cool to see them when they're hot, but then it is so interesting to watch them when they're cold. Like, watching the Warriors-Nuggets game when Curry was just throwing up. I mean, I've never seen Curry just
Bro,
airball
it was
a wide
so
open three,
bad.
but I saw it for
It
the
was
first time.
so bad.
But then you're like, dang, what? Is Curry even that good? And then the very
Clank.
next game, Curry will go 5 for 5 from half court. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's pretty good.
Exactly. So, and then finally, our final piece of news, we have the final NBA standings. And we kind of can see what the playoff is going to look like. So for the Eastern Conference, the guaranteed playoff teams are the Bucks, the Celtics, the 76ers, Cavaliers, the Knicks,
Let's go.
and the Nets. Playing teams, the Heat, the Hawks, the
And
Raptors,
those are the two teams
and
that
the
will make.
Bulls.
Those are the two teams that will make the Heat and the
The
Hawks.
Hawks, yeah.
Raptors and Bulls are going home. I think that's fair
Bro,
to
what
say.
if there's an upset, though? I don't think there will be. But
Well,
if there's
whoever
an upset,
upsets is going home in the first
going
round.
on, is getting swept.
Yeah, they're not
Um,
beating the Bucks or the Celtics.
And then guaranteed lottery picks, the Pacers, the Wizards, the Magic, the Hornets, and the Pistons.
Oh, we're talking about
things.
irrelevant teams now? Okay.
If the Heat make the playoffs, they can give both the Bucks and the Celtics a run for their money if they click.
Actually, yeah, the Heat are just,
That's true.
The Heat are so wild because first of all, we saw like the Heat, the Bucks. Honestly, like they had a real chance of winning that 2020 NBA, and the Heat upset them and went to the finals and lost to the Lakers. The Heat are just a interesting team because for some reason they don't.
Let's not
forget.
forget the Heat last year were one game away from the finals.
And honestly, you can say whatever you want, but the Heat should have been in that finals. That three-pointer that was called back was ludicrous. If you watch that replay, there's no way his foot was on that line.
Jimmy in the playoffs is a different breed.
Yeah, and also I can't stand the hate that Jimmy got for taking that three-pointer to potentially win the game.
He's your best player on the team and he's open.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That was that's a callback. But yeah, the Heat honestly should have been. It should have been Heat Warriors.
Max Strus. No, I'm just going to stop.
No, Max Strus.
He was balling.
That was his three-pointer that got taken off.
His shot. I mean, if I had to pick a player to take it that game, I would have picked Max, but Jimmy was second.
Yeah,
maybe third.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I do think, real quick, I'm not saying the Heat would have been the Warriors, but I think that would have been a better series because the Celtics did not play well in that Warriors.
No, they played so bad.
I think we could have gotten.
Are you moving on to the West yet?
Oh no, I was gonna say real quick. I agree with you. I feel like the Heat give the Bucks or the Celtics
I think they
a 6-game series,
and I think they take.
I think they take it to 6, and one of the teams wins.
The Hawks takes one team to 5.
One of the teams wins. Yeah, I think one of the teams has to win.
No. I'm saying like whoever the Heat end up playing, I feel like the other team wins.
I don't know. I actually do think the Heat can beat the Celtics. I don't like their chances as much against the Bucks.
That's fair.
I just don't think they match up against the Bucks well, but I think they match up against the Celtics well
I
and can beat them.
The Celtics go home.
I could see it happening. I'm not saying it will. I don't think
feel
it's
like if there's
favored,
a
but I
first
think it
round
can.
upset, I feel like it would be the Celtics.
But I am happy for the Nets that trading away their whole super team core, and they're still guaranteed a playoff spot because they have such a good young core.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and they're just a couple seeds back, which, obviously it's East versus West, but they're almost in the same playoff seeding as the Suns. So
yeah.
Like, they got such a good team. Like,
yeah.
We'll Michael Bridges is going to carry them
they
to
did a good job.
chip. No, let me stop.
Yeah, but they did a good job setting themselves up with something to work with.
Yeah. Moving on to the Western Conference, the guaranteed playoff teams are the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Kings, the Suns, the Clippers, and the Warriors. Steven, give me my money.
I realized as the bet went on that I was playing against house money there because Seth was betting on one team while I needed 3 or 4 teams to go my way. I just have one thing. Kings, Nuggets, or Trailblazers. If only one of you could have started your starters, maybe this would have been different. Just one team.
Thank you, Kings, Nuggets, and Clippers.
It is definitely.
I love you.
Yeah, I know. Especially like the Thunder lost by, or the Warriors beat the Thunder by 5. Oh, couldn't you have just played like?
No, don't play your starters.
It was just the wrong time of the season.
It's great.
It was
wrong time. Wrong
if they would have run into one,
teams.
like I wish they would have run into the Lakers. The Lakers would have knocked them down and gotten.
It's just wild because like when I first saw their in their final few games that they had to play, I was like, they might not do it. And then I realized, oh wait, all of those teams are already clinched playoffs. So yeah, the play-in teams are. So thank you for giving me my money. Good man.
I'm a man of my word.
Play-in teams: Lakers, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Thunder, and the guaranteed lottery for the Western Conference: Mavericks, Jazz, Trailblazers, Rockets, Spurs.
Man, the Mavs as a lottery team is crazy.
It's wild.
The Spurs at the bottom of the West is wild.
Was it a 96% or 86% chance earlier in the year to be a playoff team?
Bro, they almost beat out the Warriors last year in the Western Conference Finals.
Almost, yeah, they went, but they had a chance.
Wild.
The games weren't blowouts.
Right, yeah. And then the Spurs at the bottom. When did the Spurs ever finish the bottom?
I'm glad they did.
This is the year that
if I had to see Victor go somewhere other than the Hornets, I'd like to see him in the Spurs. Like, I think that's a good fit. Because they need an exciting player. That would be great.
He doesn't fit on the Rockets at all.
I can't remember if we have the 4th. I think we have the 4th best odds. I don't love. But
I would love to have Victor Wembanyama live in North Carolina.
We'll give you our first pick in LaMelo for Victor.
Yeah, but then we'd just be restarted.
I honestly feel like if y'all don't get Victor, you take what's his name?
Scoot?
No,
Well, Scoot's a
I was
point
gonna
guard.
say-
from
There's a lot of options.
Alabama.
Miller?
Miller.
Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll take Brandon Miller. I think he's a good fit.
I think
too.
he is but like I mean, I also think if
Yeah,
we get the
Charlotte's
second pick,
a-
we have to take Scooter Henderson.
Charlotte's a pretty tough city.
Yeah.
He can hold his own down there.
I'm just glad there should be. I like honestly.
Jesus Christ.
You know, maybe we're only talking about this because they're the Hornets and we're from North Carolina. But like, do you guys think? I think the Hornets not only, depending on how far, if they fall back and get like absolutely screwed in the draft odds and like get like the 10th pick or something, maybe not. But I think if they get a top 5 pick, I think the Hornets make the playoffs. Not even the play-in. I think they straight up make the playoffs.
That's a bold statement, buddy.
Well, they've had before this season, they've had 3 consecutive years of having 40 wins.
They can make the playoffs.
I think they're a straight off playoff team, number 6 seed next year.
Okay.
If they get a top 5 pick.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mark Williams' development has really sped that up.
Bro's 8.
Also,
Honestly,
playing Victor at the 4, that's disgusting. No
I was
one's
gonna
stopping
say,
that.
So I play him at a 3. I'm pulling
Mark
that.
Williams at the 5 and Victor at
pulling-
the 4. That's arguably probably the most disgusting.
That Cleveland lineup where they had Laurie Markkinen, who else was it? Jared Allen and
Oh, yeah, that
Evan
was good.
Mobley. Wasn't it 3 7
Yeah.
footers? Crazy.
it was, and it worked really well.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for the news this week. Bit of a long segment, but there was a lot going on this week with the NBA finishing up their regular season. Should we hop into the top 10 all time?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
So at first, I have LeBron James.
At number 1, I have Michael Jordan.
At number 1, I have LeBron James.
All right, so should we discuss?
Yeah, this is the hot flame right here. Like they're gonna be like, he picked LeBron. You're gonna have
I know
you're
we
gonna
have
have an old
2/3.
generation that's like, well, you gotta pick Jordan, and you're gonna have a young generation that's like, I understand LeBron, but I think it's interchangeable.
I
I
the
think
three
it
of us-
is
Yeah,
interchangeable.
the 3 of us agreed they are interchangeable. Depending on what you want to look at. Honestly.
Here's my caveat. Michael Jordan played less seasons and had more championships. On top of that, in my opinion, LeBron is the more skilled player and arguably the better basketball player, which sounds weird to say because I put him at number 2. But Michael Jordan's mindset is what put him over the top.
Well, there's also a difference between the list of top 10 players all times and top 10 careers of all time.
Right.
That's also true.
Yeah, and which I think Kobe and Jordan are the only players to like really have a different kind of mindset because like I think LeBron had a killer mindset, but if you take like the greatest teams or the greatest players LeBron has faced in the finals and put them against the greatest players Jordan has faced in the finals, you kind of see the championship like discrepancy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my argument is that Jordan does have the defensive edge, but
Yeah.
LeBron can play 1 through 5.
I'd say perimeter wise.
Yeah.
Like I can put LeBron at center. I don't think I can put Jordan.
No, you definitely can't.
There was that old what was it, Bobby Knight saying that says he tried to get the Trailblazers, I think, to draft Jordan. He told their GM. The GM was like, well, we really need
Sam Bowie.
They said we really need a center, and he was like, well, play Jordan at center. Like that's what he told
you
him.
need him
Because he saw Bobby Knight saw Jordan at the USA stuff. He was like, put him at center.
Bro, it's
Right.
disgusting, bro. And to balance out the defense, LeBron James's playmaking is better.
And I think he's got better interior defense.
Yeah.
And better rebounding skills.
Like we said, both of those are pretty interchangeable.
For sure.
So,
Number 2,
All right, Michael Jordan.
LeBron James.
Michael Jordan.
I mean, all right, let's be real. If your top 2 is not Michael Jordan and LeBron James, you are a severe
I'm gonna
hater
question
of
your
one-
sanity.
You're
You're
a
a
hater
fanboy
of
of
either
someone.
Jordan or LeBron.
I'm going to question
or
your
you're a
sanity.
fanboy of someone else.
Nah, even if you're a fan, you're just a straight hater.
No,
of
I am
those.
a fanboy of a certain person, and he's still not in the top 2.
And I'm gonna be honest. Right now, there's no player that will that is currently playing that has a case to beat either one of those as top 2.
Well, who'd you put at 3?
Oh, who did I put at 3?
Yeah.
I put, to me, the most underrated player in NBA history.
He is the most underrated player in
Yeah.
NBA history.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan was absolutely disgusting at basketball, but because his game wasn't as flashy as other players, he did not get the credit he deserved.
Yeah.
I just peeped your number 3. Go ahead and say it.
Stephen Curry, baby. Literally
okay,
changed
Nate.
the
You're
way
welcome.
the game of basketball is played. Like you now see middle schoolers taking half court threes. Should they be doing it? No, but I mean he changed the way the basketball's played.
I will argue he's not in my top 10, but he should be. But I'm not going to take anyone off at this point. I like my list.
Number 3, baby.
No, that's too much. That's too high.
Like I said, I fanboy
So,
over a certain player, and word on
no-
Stephen Curry is that
Do you
player.
think that Curry is better than Tim Duncan and Kareem, who is my number 3?
I have Kareem way down.
I don't even have Stephen Curry in my top 10.
That
not
is
in my top
wild,
10.
bro.
I would might put him at 9 or 10, but that's
Yeah, I think Curry will finish top 10. But
best shooter of all time for sure.
for sure, but not 3, not top 3.
I
and
feel
I
like
don't
he's
think
the best
he will
point.
be.
I feel like he's undoubtedly the best point guard of all time.
I don't think he can sneak into the top 3 either. Like I think it's too late for him.
I don't disagree with you. I did put him a little high.
No, but it's fair. It's fair.
I feel like no matter what, because even before I changed him to 3, he was at number 5. So like,
Right. Fair
All
enough.
right.
I feel
Well,
like that's a fair.
Number 4?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay. Number 4?
Tim Duncan.
I have Tim Duncan at 4.
So far, me and Nate, other than 3, we have 3 and 4 swapped, but we have the same 4 players. And
Yeah.
The only difference really.
Kareem at 3. That's interesting.
I mean, hey,
What I mean,
I
he
think
has,
it's
I mean, it's
fair.
not a bad pick.
he
but-
has second to all-time leading scorer, and he
Yeah.
has 6 championships.
I would guarantee
and
you.
I'm sure he has multiple
I was gonna-
MVPs.
You're not
too.
wrong.
I guarantee you more people will agree with Nate's top 3 so far.
Oh no,
than ours.
100%.
I think Tim Duncan's just criminally underrated. And
No, he is.
The lowest, I'm proud of us because the lowest we have him at is at 4. So,
I gave Kareem the edge over Duncan just because of the extra championship and the points.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bro would walk into his games with leftovers from home. That's a insane level of savagery.
Can you imagine Tim Duncan and Dirk on a team together? They were the same style.
No,
like, of-
Oh,
literally.
yeah, they were. Yeah. All right.
Not
so
a play, but of like
no, I get
personality.
you saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5?
Number 5. So honestly, I mean, people might disagree with Tim Duncan at 3. Hold up. Let's keep your eyes on your paper. To me, this is a lot more reasonable than having Curry at 3. A lot more reasonable. I have
Okay.
Larry Bird at 5.
that you put him over that got me.
Larry Bird
at 5 is a bold take, but
Dude,
it's not that far off from mine.
It's just because people did not watch. Larry Bird could say, hey, you know what? Left hand only and drop 40. How many players can do that? Larry Bird is solid.
I don't know. I think Larry's
Larry's criminally underrated.
Okay, who's your number
giving-
5?
He's definitely top 10.
I'm highlighting.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't-
See,
I wouldn't put him over a player that you put him over.
All right, hold up. This is the level. Seth thinks I'm a lunatic for having Larry Bird at 5, who we both agree is top 10. But yet I gave you a pass for having Curry at 3.
That's fair.
Curry's not even top 10.
That's fair. That is very disrespectful.
Curry's 9 or 10 interchangeable, but there's just so many greats that he's got to do one more
He's
thing to
top
get into
15.
it.
He has
Permanent.
to. He has to be top 10.
He could be there on any list, but I think
I'll
to
give you
be
10.
a perma-lock of the top 10, he's got to get one more thing.
That's fair.
All right,
Okay.
so you're number 5.
Number 5, Kobe Bean Bryant.
Number 5, Kobe Bean Bryant.
So who are you hating that I have Larry Bird over Kobe? Is that the player?
That's not even the player I was talking about.
Okay, I guess
We'll have
find
to
out
wait and see.
eventually.
But
Yeah,
I
you let me
think
know.
Kobe, he has the chips, he has the MVPs, he has the play style. One of the greatest two-way players for most of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, Kobe is I hate to do the Michael Jordan comparison, but
Steven's a
he
Kobe
was.
hater.
I'm not. No, I have Kobe on my top 10.
He was the second closest player to Michael Jordan, like in play style.
Absolutely.
Right.
But Kobe was also his own just animal. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Now Kobe
ridiculous.
is really good, but there's just when I think of top 10, like there's just a couple things that to me hurt Kobe from being
Yeah.
top 10. Probably the fact that I don't think, I don't know.
If he would have retired 3 seasons earlier, his legacy would have been a lot better than it is.
I don't know. I don't think his last couple seasons hurt.
I think his last 3 seasons hurt him.
Bro went out with 60 though. But yeah, I mean,
Bro did go out.
They didn't hurt him. He just we just declined because he tore his Achilles.
Right.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
hurt
I don't think
him.
it hurt his legacy, but I get what you're saying. Finishing with your career as being the NBA leader in most missed shots does not.
That's like saying LeBron missing the playoffs.
You also have to look
recently.
at who he was playing with.
But that
Bro won a championship with Jordan Farmar, bro. Like, what do you...
That's valid.
Yeah, no, I don't
Right
hate
when
Kobe.
Paul Gasol is your second best player. No, as great as Paul Gasol
Pau
was.
Gasol is, but that's
still a
ridiculous.
big-
Yeah, well, also the NBA landscape was, which I mean, to be fair, they beat that Celtics team.
Michael Jordan and LeBron are never winning a championship with Jordan Farmar as their starting point guard.
LeBron almost did with Matthew Dellavedova.
Mario Chalmers.
Also,
he had a lot of other.
You have to look at the NBA
They had
landscape.
way more talent.
I know, I
on
was
that
just
team.
joking.
I was gonna say I don't want. I mean,
Now-
now
And Norris Cole was a better point guard than Mario Chalmers was.
LeBron was also not technically,
Exactly.
the point guard of his team at all times.
yeah. So and if Jordan Farmer was your best option at point guard, he would be point guard.
And also Kobe Bryant, if I'm not mistaken, he has the most assists for a non-point guard in the history of the league, I want to say.
He does not have more assists than LeBron James.
I guess that's fair. I don't know what I'm thinking of. There's some
But he
kind of
does have
stat.
a lot of assists.
He has more assists than people realize.
Like
Yeah.
he has the ball hog stamp on him, at least previously, but he really wasn't.
All right. So moving on to number 6.
Number 6.
I got Magic Johnson.
Wilt Chamberlain.
I got Wilt.
That's the one that got you put Magic Johnson under Larry Bird.
Yeah, because I would rather have Larry Bird on my team than Magic Johnson. I think Larry Bird has a better chance of going and winning.
But
you the
better
game.
all time,
I
though.
love how our list started out agreeing and then I switched to Seth. Like,
It's just, I don't know, man. That's tough.
I don't know. I mean, I don't hate.
Wait, so how come? I don't know. Seth's list just confuses me because having Larry Bird one spot above Magic Johnson is blasphemous, but having Larry Bird over Stephen Curry is okay.
Oh, no. No. My thing is
I don't think there's
it's just
consistency.
the two you put it back to back that got
Yeah,
me.
Larry
Okay.
Bird, Magic Johnson.
Well, recap your list for me real quick.
So I got LeBron at 1, Jordan at 2, Tim Duncan at 3, Kareem at 4, Larry Bird at 5, and Magic Johnson at 6.
That's not too wild.
No, it's
recap
really
your
not.
list.
Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain.
And I have LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, and Wilt Chamberlain. Okay, I mean, I think these lists are all respectable, but I do think I give Wilt the edge over Magic and Bird, honestly. That's my list, how it goes. But it's not because I know there's the whole argument, the competition he was playing. But what
Dentists.
Wilt did
Fire the
statistically
Saints dentist.
is never going to be done again.
No.
Like,
No,
it cannot be done again.
And if you
It
look
will
at
not.
just the athleticism alone of Wilt Chamberlain, let's say he had no basketball skill. If there's a 7-footer that athletic, they're going to do well in
It
today's
was
NBA.
ridiculous.
And for how his body was, how strong he was, that
Even though
man
he looked
was
lanky.
strong.
I mean, that man was going to fight Muhammad Ali. I'm not saying he was going to beat him, but just the fact that you are a world champion in volleyball, like goes down as one of the greatest volleyball players of all time, one of the greatest basketball players of all time,
I forgot he played volleyball.
and didn't just play it, dominated it, and the fact that he can, okay, there was a couple of people who thought he might beat. I don't think he would beat Muhammad Ali, but I'm
No.
saying he had a chance. That just speaks to the levels of athleticism.
no,
that
I
he had.
agree. It's just that Wilt, man. He just
Hey, I
he had
love
what
Wilt.
40-point games. He had 512 consecutive, I believe it was. It was 500 plus. The next closest was like 20.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's insane.
I could be wrong on those numbers,
can-
but it did not get over 100. Like,
Wilt's-
it was significantly
Wilt's
less.
valid. I got another center over him, and I guess I'll move on to 7. I got Shaq over him. Shaq, I don't know. The dominance of Shaq, especially for it to be as recent as it was, Shaq is one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Number 7, I have Magic Johnson.
Number 7 is where I got Larry Bird. But Shaq, I agree, he could be on my top 10. He is one of the other interchangeable players.
Yeah.
You put Larry Bird for Magic Johnson
Listen, Stephen Curry at number 3. I think our list is a lot more reasonable than yours.
You think Magic's better than Larry?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think they're pretty close, but I think Magic has the slight edge.
I think Larry's
But then why is it
injury-
blasphemous?
The only reason Larry wasn't better than Magic was injury. Like,
I mean, he's
back
only
in-
just
slightly
didn't think
better.
I mean, it's more of a shock thing. I didn't think you would put him over.
No, I think he is.
Larry Bird over Magic Johnson.
I don't know, but okay. Well, that's neither here nor there at this point. Who do you got at 8?
Bill Russell.
8.
Larry Bird.
Bill Russell.
Back to me.
I have to give
I
the
feel bad.
championships a nod.
I feel bad. I didn't even put him in top 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bill Russell's better than Stephen Curry all time.
Yeah.
And 90% of people would agree.
That broke him.
All right. Number 9, I got Wilt Chamberlain. I had a trio of
disagree.
tenors. Yeah, I know you do.
Curry, I love you. Is it number 9?
Uh-huh.
Who'd you have?
Wilt Chamberlain.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay, your list is whack.
I got Magic. You got him at 9?
Yeah, never mind.
That is
Hey,
wild.
I love how any kind of animosity that could be thrown at my list is out the window. This man has Curry 3, Kareem 9. That's
If
enough.
you-
That's enough.
If you swap Kareem and Curry, your list
Curry
becomes
3.
respectable.
Yeah.
If you swap Kareem and
Curry
Curry,
3.
Doesn't that make his list respectable? You
Honestly,
think, if
yeah,
you
it's a lot
flip-flop
more
them?
respectable. Yeah, if you swap them.
But okay, Matt, I have Magic at 9. I think he's still in there, but because he changed the game, it's a little lower than most people would put
Yeah,
him.
I have Magic Johnson higher than Seth, and he was talking about how low mine was. I don't know about Seth's list.
Mine's kind of. I will admit.
LeBron
Magic
James
could
is
be
at number
higher.
2, and Stephen Curry has the same amount of championships.
Yeah, but he doesn't nearly have the same amount of accolades. as
That's
LeBron.
fair. He's also hasn't played as long though.
You think Curry's going to break the points record?
No.
Okay.
Not even remotely close.
Or possibly get close to maybe number 2 in assists.
no.
LeBron's up there in assists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't match him on steals, blocks, none of that.
And LeBron wasn't a point guard.
Yeah. So at 10, I have Kobe Bryant. He sneaks in my top 10.
At number 10, I have Dwayne Wade.
I have Kevin Durant.
Dwayne Wade in the top 10.
I hate putting Kevin Durant here. And Chris, please forgive me if you're out there, Chris Long. I know you are a Kevin Durant hater.
Why?
But
Okay,
Kevin
go
Durant, as much as you hate the move of him going to get the championships where he's gone, he still is like it's been. If you're going to compare someone on the level of LeBron, Kevin Durant, it was a debate for years.
Yeah, it was.
So like Kevin Durant is skill level up there.
And Kevin Durant's arguably the best scorer of all
I
time.
have to ask you guys a question. Neither one of you have Shaq on your top 10.
No.
He was close.
He was close. I think I had him at number 11.
All right, so we know who the blasphemous people are. It is, bro.
I'll give you this. Looking at my list, I think I might have an unintentional bias against big men.
Yeah,
I
no, you
would
do, but
put
it's okay.
Shaq. I would put Shaq anywhere. I would scoot up Bill Russell. I'm willing to move Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, or Kevin Durant off for Shaq.
Okay.
I have a top 25 list. I'll give you this. My number 11 is Bill Russell. My number 12 is Shaq.
You hate big men.
No, he
I think I have I have an unintentional bias against big men. I'm just not realizing.
So
Hey,
going back to the psychological
okay,
unpacking,
so-
does it have to do with your height?
So I have
Yeah, actually, probably so.
I have Bill Russell and Shaq. I mean, Bill Russell and Wilt just under Shaq. But so like I can get people don't like they played against a while ago. They played against shorter players, less athletic players. But not having Shaq on top 10 is just wild.
I think that that sums up our top 10, and I think that's where we need to move on for today.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that we don't want to give you an hour and 30 minutes to sit through.
Except I'm going to on why Shaq
But-
should be in every top 10. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe we should promise that in the next week. What we were gonna do is we were gonna pick our top 5 that we build a team around because it's very similar. We'll move that in the next week's segment, along with
good.
maybe another draft or two for you. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
It'll be
When there's not as much news.
Yeah, there was a lot.
There was a lot. Which, honestly, we probably could have cut the last 2 parts of the news into its own segment, but
Yeah, it's fine. Just throw it all in there.
it's all
All right.
good. All right. So before we go, you can check us out on, once again, you can check us out on social media, Instagram and TikTok at Let the Play Develop Pod, Twitter at LTPD Pod, or Let the Play Develop. If you're watching on YouTube, hey, what's up? Go check us out on all the streaming platforms besides Apple Music. We'll hopefully get on there soon. Apple Music, let us on your platform.
Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcasts, let us
Sorry.
on your platform. And if you're listening on streaming platforms, hello. You can go check us out on YouTube. I feel like it's a more intimate experience. You can see our nice, beautiful faces and whatnot. Thank you so much for watching today and listening today. Y'all have anything to say?
Shout out to our word of mouth people. Keep
Facts.
doing that.
Facts.
I do have one thing. Make sure you follow us on Twitter because I need to know, am I the only person that would put Shaq in their top 10? So that's our question. So please make sure to vote. I need to know if I'm the crazy one or if they are. For myself, my own sanity.
I've never claimed to be sane.
Look, I have
That's fair.
shown. To be fair, I have shown Shaq so much love on other podcast episodes.
No, it's fair. And you just told me all the players you would
He
take
was my
out for
number
him.
one get a bucket guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So listen. I'm not saying Nate's a Shaq hater. Seth maybe, but
It's
we
not
just need
less
to
of
know
a
your
Shaq
opinion.
hater, more of a big man hater.
So make sure to follow us on Twitter so I can see your input on that.
And don't remember, Seth will not be watching the NBA in 3 years as big men make a resurgence.
He's all guard play.
Only guards. Anything else?
That's all I
all.
got.
Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.